My Power Rake needs to go to the dentist. So I invited Dr. Aaron to help me take care of it. We're going to actually put in some replacement carbide teeth on this thing today. And I thought maybe it was a good time for Aaron to come join us and show us how this is done. Let's get started.
There was actually a time for about 6 months when I was a preteen that I wanted to be a dentist. I don't know why. I hated the dentist.
Yeah.
Maybe I thought I could do it better or nicer. I'm not sure.
I know how bad a breath I have. Can you imagine?
I am thankful that I'm not staring in people's mouths all day.
Oh.
That would be terrible. The pay wouldn't be worth it, for sure. I'm happy to be around the machines.
Now, my neighbor told me, I said something about replacing these teeth, and he says, oh, it's no problem. I do it all the time. All you have to do is cut the old tooth off with a cutting torch or whatever and weld the new one on. So
we're going to avoid that today.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that's not the way that we do it. And I'm not necessarily saying one way is better than the other. Maybe that's more secure. Maybe this is just nicer to live with. I don't know what that balance is, but for reasons I think easily shown in this activity, we've chosen to go a little bit different direction.
No welder, no cutting torch required. Just
some
Dr. Aaron.
Some hand tools. Yeah. So the way that we put these together is you've got the actual carbide tip, and this is what does the work. And there's a little collet on here that's kind of a compression fit. And then there is a supporting sleeve here that goes underneath of that. And when this nests into here, it gives something for this tooth to push against, so that as the force is going into that tooth, it has something to hit so that it's not trying to peel it out all the time. But this is basically, sneak over here and show, this is basically a plug that fits right into this cylinder. And you can see here on this one that has fallen out, this is an old sleeve. We'll chisel that off and replace with this sleeve. But the sleeve is, when it's all brand new, is somewhat of a loose fit. It can spin. It's only there to support the tooth like this.
Okay, so the sleeve is not tight when it's new.
The sleeve is not tight when it's new.
So do you think I'll be able to?
Yep, yeah, you should be able to. It's pretty close.
Try out my Nipex here. I can get it to turn, but I can't necessarily get it to come. Oh, it's coming off, I believe.
There you go. Yeah, so depending on how thick that powder coat is, would probably be the only thing that causes a little bit of variability in how tight this is. So it's not a real tight press-on type thing. So it doesn't require a press or anything like that. And you could probably, if you wanted to, take this over, spin this up on the wire wheel, clean it up, and put it right back on. So I probably wouldn't even throw this away, just because nice to have a couple spares. This is a hardened piece, so it is possible that you could crack it or something if it hit the right thing just right. So yeah, just keep this one.
I've got 3 of these that came off. One of them came off, and the sleeve is gone too.
Yeah.
But this one and the other one that's off, the sleeve is still on. So somehow the tooth has come loose. I mean, is that a common thing?
It's not terribly common, but it does happen. So it's a lot of it's down to the material you're in. If you're only ever doing dirt, it'd probably almost never happen, if ever.
We were working with Ken from Bolt On Hooks, and it was shale. I mean, it was hard stuff.
Yeah.
And I was probably abusing it. It never happens, right? Never see anything abused on my channel. But I think I was probably pretty rough on it, and I lost 3 of them.
It happens. I mean, so yeah, a lot of times, like I was explaining earlier too, it can be a interference thing. So like here on the ends, you might have clipped something that got pinned on the outside of the rake, and then it gave it some leverage to actually pop that tooth out. So it's probably a little more common to see on the ends here, but it is a thing that happens occasionally. And it's the cost is the price that we pay to make this somewhat easy to work on.
Everybody says that these Power Rakes, all the cost is right here in the tips.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming these are going to set me back a good bit.
Yeah. So the tips themselves are $18, $19 or so.
Okay.
And then the sleeves are $9.
Okay,
So,
well, I mean, I guess from a replacement standpoint, that's not as much as I expected. I guess the real cost becomes when you equip one with the, $28 times.
Yeah.
However many. How many are there on there?
That's a great question for somebody.
He's a product manager
that should know that, like me. I don't know right offhand.
A lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Okay.
But yes, the cost is more than expected too. If you have a drum that you do have to cut them off and actually weld on and replace them, and so in a case like this, I don't know what you hit but it's probably something that was big enough to rip, you know, single tooth out, but you didn't do any other damage. So something that was big enough to maybe cause damage to a drum that was fixed. So if this tooth couldn't have ripped out, then maybe you would have peeled this away from the drum. And that's a much bigger issue. Obviously, it's structural over time. You really have to be concerned about how long the drum lasts then at that point. So here, it's a little bit nicer to just replace them one at a time when it does happen and when you get into that situation.
So we've got the sleeve off. Now what do we do?
So the way that these fasten is it's very simple. We're just going to hammer this in here, and it's going to be a compression fit. And the first thing we need to do is clean this out, because what we do add to this is some sleeve retainer, which is pretty strong stuff. But clean this out so that there's no debris in there, there's no loose debris, and give it something to bond onto.
What do you have there?
This is a Napa special. We went to the store, and I don't even know what this is for specifically. Did they tell you what it's actually supposed to be for?
They said it was a little, you know, pipe, but it was a hand brush.
Yeah, so we snipped that off.
You decided you wanted on the drill.
Hey, power tools are always better, right? So the idea here is let's get this thing in there, scratch it up a little bit, just get any loose debris out, and see what we can do. All right. So first thing, I'm going to rotate it a little bit just so that this stuff doesn't fall out, and I'll put a little bit of this sleeve retainer inside.
So this is.
And
we've used Loctite blue, we've used Loctite red.
Yeah,
this is green.
This is definitely not blue or red. This stuff you never want to put on anything that you want to take out. So if these teeth, you know, you can obviously hammer them out if it's time to replace them and they're worn. But if you put green sleeve retainer on something, it's not coming out unless you hit it with a lot of force.
Okay.
So it's just really strong stuff. It's made for compression fit or like slide fit. So it doesn't really require threads to be tight.
And that's really all that's holding this in.
That's all that's holding this in.
And
so
you're just putting a little bit?
Put a little bit on this sleeve here.
This stuff's not cheap either.
Slide this on here. And we should be able to, you want to hold that for me for a second?
And you just started that one. I would hold that with my fingers, but I don't trust you.
I would hold that with my fingers, but I don't trust me either. Just want to give it something to brace against. Pull that out for a second.
Okay. So you're maybe a third of the way on there.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And then I'm not really able to get that started. You want to tap it a little bit, or?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so we really didn't need to try to compress that inner ring. It just eventually went in, didn't it?
Yeah, it's started. There we go. So it's like partially started. You don't need to compress the ring with the pliers or anything.
Okay.
I'm just trying to keep this thing from going too wild, and we'll give it a nice big whack.
Well.
And it should spin free. And now you want to let that set up, and you should be good there.
How long do you think it needs to set?
I probably wouldn't, you know, I'd probably read the bottle and be a little more clear on it, but I probably wouldn't try using it for 6 hours or so.
Okay. This one's a little worse. I had lost the outside ring, and I went ahead working, right? So it's rusted around there. I had it full of dirt. I've dug the dirt out of it.
Okay.
But you can tell it's rusty around the edge.
Yeah, let's clean it up. Hey, let it be known, I'm the one that gave him the power tool.
Well, that's working great for inside. And these are nylon bristles. They're not really very, I don't think you want to do anything very strong in there, do you?
No, in fact, you don't want to. Anything that has more of a grinding element you'd want to stay away from, because you don't want to lose any material inside that ID.
Okay.
But getting the debris out will help that set up and bond into it.
I'm happy with the inside, but I'm not happy with the outside. What do they call this? This is aluminum oxide, but there used to be a name for this. They didn't call it sandpaper.
All I've ever known it as is sandpaper.
Well, it was since it was useful on steel, they had another name for it. I forget what it was.
why'd they switch to sandpaper? I'm looking for a history lesson here. I'm not getting it.
Well, it's because you ask questions I can't answer. This is more expensive than sandpaper, right? Or more expensive than wood sandpaper because it's aluminum oxide.
Gotcha.
How's that? And then, but I can't remember. And even my brother Tom, he would call it the doo-wah ditty or the... All we got to do is be able to get that on there, I guess.
Yeah.
And have it not come off.
We'll give it a shot to see if it's, oh, they see that one's got pretty loose already, so you're good.
I want to get it up there in the top because I feel like the bottom is easy. And then we want to put it on this thing as well, right?
Yep.
But not all over my fingers. And at $10 per drop.
Somebody asked me one time, what would I take if I could have anything for free that I could carry only? And that was the first thing that came to mind. I was like, well, I'll just take like 10 gallons of green oxide, because then I'd be a millionaire. See, this one's a little bit more difficult here because of the bolt there, so we got to rotate it down some. All right.
Sweet.
We're in.
Now, we did remove the front rubber flap here that keeps the soil in place. I always wondered why we didn't have one of those on the back, too. I bet there's a reason.
It's really just not necessary on the back.
Okay.
Because the dirt rotates over the drum to the top. So just like the place the dirt finally falls off the drum, the back wouldn't do it any good. It's the easiest way to explain it. When they're more corroded than this, you usually would have to chisel it off.
If you do have to chisel it off, you just take a chisel,
chisel
or a punch or anything and punch it off from the backside, right?
Yep.
Hammer and punch.
Yeah. And oftentimes, if your rake is old enough and it's got a lot of years on it with a lot of corrosion, you will have to do that.
And we forgot, but we were gonna put some PB Blaster or other type of penetrating oil on there.
Wouldn't have been necessary anyway.
Right.
And based on how easy the other one went on, I don't know how much we'll have to clean this one. It's a little bit tighter.
That's not fitting, is it?
It's a little tighter, so we'll just give it a start. The only thing you really need to be careful with is to make sure it's fairly even.
So why don't you go ahead and hit it all the way on to start?
Because it actually helps if I have it as a backstop for this, then it's something that this can hit and it guides it on more straight in.
Okay.
So it is possible that you could be slightly off center when you try to drive this in, and obviously that's just, it's putting more side load than it needs to.
The lip up here.
Yeah.
Okay, I see how.
This lip can help locate it and slide it in easy.
I'm all nervous here because Aaron's a YouTube star, and you know, just being in his presence is makes me all nervous, right? I'm in the presence of greatness, celebrity.
Well, I finally made it because now I'm here on this channel, so.
It's nice to see you actually doing something, though, Aaron, instead of just talking about things, you know?
It's usually nice to do something instead of just talk about it.
Yeah, you're actually doing something instead of just saying, oh, look at all these features and look how great this is.
Yeah, I need to do more shop videos. This is fun. I need a big lift like this.
Yeah, this lift it spoils us.
Yeah.
So still, with this attachment, it wouldn't be too hard to do this even on the ground because the attachment lifts up nicely. Yeah. It's not going to be as easy as on the lift, but...
Yeah. I did bring some other goodies.
You brought other goodies?
I did bring other goodies.
Woohoo! I love the Ventrac.
Okay, enough of this. Let's go see some other goodies. Aaron, I thought I had all the goodies already. I've got the beacon, I've got the two lights here, one forward, one backwards. I've got pretty much every option that we have. What?
Except you don't have the most important one, and that's...
Me?
Well, yes, but you're not an option. You come with it.
Well, what am I missing? I don't know what I'm missing.
The canopy with the fan.
The FANOPY.
See, I wanted you to say the word.
I didn't know what we were going with. Yeah, the FANOPY. I like that.
So the most important accessory, I'll plant my flag on that one, especially this time of year when it's hot out. That thing is absolute money.
We've had a canopy with a FANOPY from Artillian that we've run on other machines. And one thing we noticed when it's mowing is that it not only is it keeping you cool, which is amazing how cool it actually keeps you, but it's blowing air kind of downward out you. And so the grass clippings don't end up on you as much. It kind of creates a little
tough cut
curtain or something.
Whenever I'm doing that, the bugs are less, the debris is less. Even like something like power raking, if it's dusty, it doesn't keep the dust off of you entirely, but it helps push it away so that it's not quite as thick, and that's awesome. It's just so awesome.
What else we got?
We also brought a new seat. So you mentioned something about a suspension seat. So we have our new one here that we're going to replace this one with.
Okay.
And as a bonus, that comes with heat installed. So
I don't need
it's
that
the
today.
opposite. It's the opposite of the Canopy. But
do you have a cooled one?
we do not. We do not have a cooled one. Maybe someday. That'd be a luxury item for sure.
Heated seat. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Christy will never get to drive this unit again.
Oh, wait,
She already told me she's going to fight you for it.
Okay. Is it hard to put that seat on?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to say that with a lot of confidence, even though
You have no idea.
I've not put one on yet, actually.
You spec'd the seat and you did all this to product manage the seat and all this, but
Yeah, you're right. I haven't installed one yet. So it's trial by fire today.
Today's your day.
Actually, when I was driving out,
When you were driving.
when I was driving out here, I was having a conversation with service, like, "Hey, I'm not walking into anything too crazy here, right? Because I haven't actually put a seat or a canopy on myself. So I've only used
You were
them so
walking
far.
into something crazy, but I doubt it had anything to do with the seat.
So the seat should be fine. The seat is just it's like our other seats where standard mounting positions and then just one wiring harness clip to it.
Okay, let's get to it. Aaron's over reading the directions. I'm just going to go ahead and start tearing stuff apart. Looks to me like these bolts need to come out.
Yeah, those 4 seat bolts are the only bolts that you have to change.
It looks like the 4 bolts and a seat switch. So there's a main kill switch on this machine to disconnect the battery, and Aaron just flipped that for safety reasons. Speaking of which, I probably need my safety glasses on. Can I wear John Deere safety glasses doing a Ventrac repair?
Only if you want to disappear into a wormhole. Break the universe.
Okay, that part stays, and then that part just comes unplugged, I bet.
Yep. There you go.
Okay, it's free, I guess.
Yeah, it was snagging on the bottom.
This is a nice seat. I mean, it's real thick and cushiony. So even in spite of not having suspension, this thing still rides better than any zero turn I've ever been on.
Yeah, part of it's the seat, part of it's the frame of the tractor, but we get that a lot. This one is nicer though.
I think one person could probably do this, but it's a lot easier with 2.
So,
now let's fold her forward. I put the nuts on the back too. Can you plug in that seat sensor? I don't mind a seat sensor like the Ventrac has. It's not obtrusive. It just makes you have the emergency brake on to keep it running if you get off the seat, and the emergency brake on to start it. Beyond that, it's really not obtrusive. So I don't mind it. I think that's one of the keys to the safety features. If they're in your way, then they become more annoying than helpful. And so I like it when a manufacturer does one like this. It's safe, it helps you with safety, but it doesn't get in your way. Now you must have another power cable for the heat.
Yeah, I hooked that up already, so all I gotta do now is add a fuse to that spot.
I can't believe it's gonna have a heated seat. Yeah, you're gonna try to get the snow removal job from now on, aren't you?
Yep.
This is a Grammer seat too, it's high quality. You're not doing a good job of keeping your radiator clean.
No, I'm not.
Take you to Ventrac jail for that.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna blame Tim.
Why?
Because I just like to mow. I don't like to clean out that.
Don't we all just want to work or do the job and not do any maintenance?
Yeah.
Christy, try it out. See what you think.
Yeah, you probably have to adjust the
How
weight.
do you-
Okay, so that lever right there in the front,
Okay.
it folds out,
Oh.
and then you push it down to lose support, pull it up to gain support.
Push it down.
Yep.
That's nice. And then just,
Yep, and it just folds right back in.
wow. Okay, let's go mow.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Got your radiator cleaned out, huh?
Thank you.
The Fanopy.
Oh yes.
Well, this kind of got involved and we forgot to turn the camera on. Christy disappeared.
Probably because we don't work fast enough for it.
Probably, she got bored. So, but I think we're about there now. We had a good bit of wiring to do just to get the fan all plugged in and everything. We ran the wire inside the ROPS. They had a special way to do that. The fuse box and running the wire in there is much easier than any other machine I've worked on. There's a special place for this kit. And I really like having the fuse block right over here, Aaron.
Yeah.
Because the back right by the seat is a place I always need power on any machine I've got.
Right.
Right. Rear attachments, anything you need over here. And typically on a traditional tractor, it's way up there. So everything I run have to run all the way through the tractor.
Yeah.
So this is nice. Now I don't think this thing.
Like I said, it's a little more than maybe some
a-
others, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little dark under here, but see, I got the key on.
that's the good stuff there.
I definitely will never get to mow again,
Yeah, your days are over.
and probably not much of any other projects either. But this is really cool. So, is this the last of the goodies that you brought today?
No. We have
Really?
more. But wait, there's more. We have 2 attachments.
Oh well,
I've been-
let's
I've-
reserve those for another episode.
I've been waiting to bring to you, but yes, we'll save those for another time.
Yeah, and but I'm pretty excited about this. I got the nice seat. Actually, Christy's got the nice seat. Got the nice Fanopy. Pretty excited about that. Well, I turned the key off, so it doesn't work with the key off, which is a good thing. Not
Yeah,
going to
don't
run my
drain the
battery
battery.
down.
Yep.
So we better pick up our toys. Meanwhile, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. The wicked plot against the righteous and gnash their teeth at them. But the Lord laughs at the wicked, for he knows their day is coming. That's right. What I'm really doing here is conning somebody else to do my maintenance work. Just like normal. You guys know what's going on here, but Aaron, he's a little slow on the uptake.
All right, okay. I get it now. All right. That's okay, I don't mind.
So let's go. What are we doing?